the season begin. They say high expectations do nothing but set you up for failure. But does that mean the 2009 Jays could creep up and surprise the critics?
There's no point in going out and handing things to anybody.
A-Rod to A-Royd. Baseball's golden child tarnishes his image. But is it fair to blame Alex Rodriguez for ruining the innocence of Major League Baseball? He suffered a devastating injury, but Aaron Hill is amped up for a comeback.
I hated it so bad. That's the one thing, was just that I missed being out there.
Find out how the star second baseman recovered and why he may be better than ever before. Don't call them slumdog millionaires, but this story couldn't be scripted any better. Two kids from India get a shot with the Pittsburgh Pirates, but will there be a Hollywood ending? All that and plenty more for the next hour as we preview the 2009 Major League Baseball season.
I'm Brad Fay. Welcome inside the Sportsnet studios. In fact, welcome to spring. Over the course of the next hour, we will explore each of the key storylines for the 2009 Major League Baseball season. And that starts closest to home, where a Blue Jays team that in recent years perhaps fell under the weight of expectations due to the added payroll enters this season without anything approaching lofty expectations, at least when it comes to its own fans.
There's something about spring. It's almost as if everything that was old is new again, and all that is new brings about hope and excitement. The same can be said about the start of the Major League Baseball season. No matter what happened over the winter, until that first pitch is thrown, and in that brief moment just before bat makes contact with ball, every team is on equal playing ground.
Although the Blue Jays are going to be severely tested, to be kind, in the American League East this coming summer.
After an offseason without any major signings, the loss of their number 2 starter, and injuries to their 3 and 4 pitchers, the 2009 Toronto Blue Jays have been given virtually no chance of making any significant run at the pennant.
That makes it tough, coming in and knowing that, you're a little bit maybe behind the expectations of other teams, but, you really can't let it affect you. You really can't. We're still going to go out and play the season, and there's no point in going out and handing things to anybody or, expecting that, we aren't going to be up there.
There was a lot expected of the team, and we just kind of didn't live up to expectations, and now you're down a little bit. You lose a couple guys get hurt, and everybody kind of forgets that we have a pretty good core here,
People aren't really paying that much attention to us, but I like our lineup. I like our bullpen. I like the way we're going to catch the ball. We got the best pitcher in baseball, so I think, we're expecting things from ourselves.
It's a good thing that people don't have any expectations on ourselves. It'll make us play a little more relaxed than we've played years before, and I think it'll be a good thing. I like one of the quotes that Cito said, is that we're going to be throwing a lot of teams' side because no one's expecting us to do anything, and that's we don't care. We don't care what anyone else thinks. We're going to go out and try to win.
I don't really have expectations. I think that over the last few years, everyone's had expectations, and whether you achieve them or not, I think it's just something that you throw out there. But I think our goal now is just to go out and try to be better than we were the year before.
The Jays' starting rotation is top-heavy, with Roy Halladay leading the way, but Jesse Litch needs to prove he's worthy of being a legitimate number 2. And with injuries to Sean Markham and Dustin McGowan, who will take advantage of their opportunity in the rotation?
Just on paper, I know we got Jansen, we got Percy, we got Richmond, we've got 3 left-handers in Cecil, Mills, and Romero that have a chance to help us out here. We'll see how some of the veteran guys do. So I think one thing we have is depth, but I just don't think they're household names right now.
On the flip side, it is vital that the offense, whose silence was deafening during the first half of last season, produce the way it did once Cito Gaston and Gene Tennis took over.
Everybody's looking forward to having a full year with these guys. Everybody responded really well the second half of the season. Obviously, we were really bad the first half of the season, so we had nowhere to go but up. But we started playing better, and hopefully we can just carry that over into this year.
It seems as if every season a team climbs out of obscurity to contend for the playoffs. In 2005, it was the Chicago White Sox. A year later, the Detroit Tigers. In 2007, the Colorado Rockies, and last season, the Tampa Rays took Murphy's Law and flipped the script. Everything that could have gone right did go right.
The main thing is to believe, man. I mean, you see what the Rays did last year. I think it makes every team coming to spring training have some hope. No one had them winning the East last year, obviously finishing last place in 07 and then coming out in 08 and end up in the World Series. So I think that gives you hope as a team.
Duplicating what the Rays did might be a tall task. And for a legitimate shot at the playoffs, there is absolutely no room for error. But that's why they play the game and not just talk about it the night before.
Rogers Sportsnet is your home for everything baseball, providing high-definition broadcasts for over 120 Toronto Blue Jays games, as well as the All-Star Game, Home Run Derby, Sunday Night Baseball, and the entire 2009 playoffs and World Series. Rogers Sportsnet is here for your baseball fix. Tampa's boys of summer truly provided a ray of hope last season, as it were, at least to the rest of the American League East. You don't have to be from Boston or New York or have all the money anymore to win baseball's toughest division. It only took one season of trying to build around young arms and subsequently missing the playoffs for the Yankees to return to their old ways.
Now I'm getting to play with the greatest organization in sports history, with some of the greatest players in sports history, so this is a great day for me.
You know, the ultimate goal is to win a World Series every year, and I think that's every player's goal, and to get a chance to play in this organization and have them want you to play here. You know, I think it was a no-brainer.
To be in a place where it is baseball. You know, I haven't really had that opportunity. You know, I played for Florida and then Toronto, and they're great ball clubs with great people, but this is tradition. This is where, you think of baseball, you think of New York.
With $500 million spent on free agents and the doors to a new stadium opening, the team didn't need any other distractions as they get set to try to reclaim a playoff spot.
I did take a banned substance, and, for that, I'm very sorry.
This will rally this club together. I mean, people worried about us tearing us apart. I think it's going to bring us closer together, because I think when you go through difficult times and you get to the other side, which we will, it brings you closer together.
If A-Rod's steroid bombshell wasn't enough, he will now miss the start of the season after hip surgery. Meanwhile, the Red Sox added John Smoltz and Brad Penny to an already deep rotation. And with a healthy David Ortiz, the Sox feel like they can make a return to the ALCS.
I'm a positive person, and I know that when I'm healthy, I let things happen.
Of course, it's no longer just a two-team race in the East.
Ground ball to second. Iwamoto's got it. Rays are going to the World Series.
Last year's Cinderella Club won't sneak up on anyone this year, but with the addition of veteran Pat Burrell to a team stocked with young stars, the Rays could once again end up on top of the division. Regardless, the AL East will once again be the best division in baseball.
I don't care how much money the Yankees spent this offseason. I don't care how many big-name but injured pitchers the Red Sox signed. The Tampa Bay Rays, American League champions last season, remain the team to beat in this division. The reason? It's pretty simple. Yes, the Red Sox have some very talented pitchers, perhaps the deepest staff in baseball, but you don't know how David Ortiz is going to do, Mike Lowell, J.D. Drew. With the Yankees, they're obviously better, A.J. Burnett, Mark Teixeira, and of course CC Sabathia, but there too, there are age questions. Mariano Rivera, Jorge Posada, right down the roster. That's why I like the Rays, the team with upside, the team to beat.
Joe Madden of the Tampa Bay Rays, for those of us that will never know, what's it like playing in baseball's toughest division?
It's wonderful. I've said that from day one. I thought that the best way for us to get good quickly was to participate in the American League East. Having our young players having to play this quality of player almost 80 times a season is definitely going to accelerate the learning curve. So I've been an advocate from day one. The fact that the division's gotten even better, I think, is great. We're very excited about it.
Went to the World Series last year, but as always seems to be the case, all the attention is up in the Bronx. The Yankees made a bunch of signings, and then, of course, have had a lot of controversy in the last month or so. Does that take a little pressure off you guys?
obviously, they're always, regardless of what we do, people are going to talk about the Yankees, the Red Sox. The same applies in Toronto or Baltimore, whatever. Actually, it applies throughout the industry, so it doesn't bother me. All that stuff is just the way the culture of the baseball world is, and for us, it's about what the Rays are doing.
We know you can only go one step further than you did last year, but what are your expectations for your club this season?
Well, the expectations are that we want to get back to the playoffs and then one round at a time. We're pretty much about the present tense. It's all about one pitch at a time, one at bat at a time, one everything at a time. I know people sometimes don't like to hear that kind of stuff, but you have to operate professionally like that on a daily basis. So we have our eye on the big picture, but we know it's about one day at a time.
Still to come on the 2009 MLB preview show. Last year, it took 163 games to crown a division champion. Find out who has the upper hand this year in the wide-open AL Central. And it's been another off-season filled with controversy. We examine how the latest steroid scandal affects the future of the game.
The 2009 season sees a pair of sluggers looking to become the 25th and 26th members of the elite 500 home run club. Gary Sheffield enters the year just one home run shy of the prestigious mark, while Carlos Delgado sits just 31 long balls away.
Toronto fans remember 1985 very well, a blown 3-1 series lead to the Royals. And while Toronto hungers for another title, its 15-year drought pales in comparison to the one being endured in KC. The Royals haven't even made the postseason since George Brett's club won it all in '85. Here's what to look for in the AL Central. Over the past 4 seasons, the Central Division has been one of the most competitive.
They have waited 88 years, but the crown belongs to the White Sox.
In 2005, the White Sox won the World Series.
Ground ball, thrown away by Zumaya. Verlander with a play at third, throws it away. Unbelievable.
In 2006, the Tigers literally threw away the World Series against the Cardinals.
Line drive caught, and the Indians lead this series 2 games to 1.
In 2007, the Indians were 1 win away from the World Series before collapsing in the ALCS.
And in the air, deep to center field. Gomez going back, looking up. It's gone. Jim Thome with a home run.
And last season, it took 163 games to decide the division champ. The offseason was quiet in the Central. The Tribe added Kerry Wood to bookend a pitching staff led by AL Cy Young winner Cliff Lee, while the White Sox signed former Cy Young winner Bartolo Colon. However, the Twins, with Scott Baker, Francisco Liriano, and Kevin Slowey, boast the best young rotation in the division. And with AL batting champ Joe Mauer and former MVP Justin Morneau, they could be the team to come out on top this year after a disappointing end to last season.
It's definitely motivating to know how close we were, and you know, a lot of credit goes to the White Sox. They had a good season as well, but you know, the one thing that didn't get us is a little hungry, and I think the young guys, you know, I think everybody in the clubhouse went home and kind of looked at themselves and said, what can we do differently?
Albert Pujols recently appeared in a Sports Illustrated cover story essentially begging the public to believe in him, that his otherworldly numbers are nothing more than the product of talent and hard work. It's just another piece of fallout from A-Rod's shocking admission this winter.
Well, sir, I'm not here to talk about the past.
I have never used steroids, period.
Who would have figured 2 statements of non-guilt could turn a game which once held an innocence for so many, a purity, if you will, and leave it suddenly tainted? The steroid era has contaminated the sport and placed the integrity of Major League Baseball in serious jeopardy because this scandal has fundamentally altered the way we view sports.
And yet we have lie after lie after lie after lie.
I think he misremembers.
Arguably one of baseball's most dominant pitchers of his time, Roger Clemens was allegedly injected with human growth hormones multiple times between 1998 and 2001. Currently, Clemens is being investigated to determine if he lied when testifying in front of a panel of U.S. congressmen. One by one, the legends of baseball fell.
And Bonds hits one high. It's a dig. It is out of
He was a one-man wrecking crew, speeding towards sports immortality. But it was too good to be true. Long linked to performance-enhancing drugs, the new home run king has cast an ominous cloud, which continuously hovers over him and the game itself. Bond stated to a grand jury back in 2003 he never knowingly used performance-enhancing drugs, but the U.S. government is trying to prove he lied.
I wanted to prove to everyone that, I was worth, and being one of the greatest players of all time.
Alex Rodriguez was supposed to return the sanctity of the home run record by cleanly surpassing Bond's career mark, but that fizzled quickly. Rodriguez stated loudly and clearly in a 2007 TV interview he never used such stuff as steroids or PED. But something ugly happened on the way to the recovery room. A-Rod lied. He admitted taking steroids while playing with the Texas Rangers from 2001 to 2003. Because of this, no athlete in baseball will be able to do anything extraordinary without suspicion. Unfortunately, as the years have shown, that suspicion is often warranted, and perhaps a generation of baseball's innocence is now lost forever.
Still to come on the 2009 MLB preview show. It's been a long road back for Aaron Hill.
Like, I hated that I missed games. I hated it so bad. That's the one thing, was just that I missed being out there.
After the break, we'll take a closer look at how number 2 plans on quieting the critics for good. Plus, it's the improbable story of a pair of athletes from India that are changing the face of the game.
In 2009, look for Mariano Rivera to add another major milestone to his already amazing Major League career. The Yankees closer is just 18 saves away from number 500. Rivera will become just the second player in baseball history to achieve this feat, joining Trevor Hoffman.
Josh Hamilton punctuating his remarkable comeback with that fireworks show All-Star Weekend just might have been the biggest story of the 2008 season. But the Texas Rangers slugger isn't about to sneak up on anyone this year, and now will be joined in the AL West by a large contingent of big names with something to prove. The story out west is the return of some old friends.
It is gone! Giambi explodes again. Well hit ball deep to center field. Going and going. Goodbye, baseball!
The reunion of Ken Griffey in Seattle, where he was an MVP and 10-time All-Star, will be about the only thing the Mariners and their new manager Don Wakamatsu have to look forward to this season. However, Jason Giambi's bat, along with the addition of Matt Holliday from Colorado, could provide the A's with the offensive spark they need to get back into the playoffs.
I think the biggest thing that I can help is some of the young kids who haven't been around the league. This is going to be my 15th year in the big leagues, so I've seen a lot of these teams, seen a lot of these guys in the big leagues.
Oakland's biggest question mark is its starting rotation. Dana Evelyn, with 35 career starts, has the most experience among their projected rotation. But the Angels are still the team to beat in the West. The two-time reigning division champs had a Major League best 100 wins last season. However, they were hit hard in free agency, losing both Mark Teixeira and Frankie Rodriguez.
We've been very fortunate to have guys in the back end of our bullpen here the last 10 years that could get those last 6, 7, 8 outs even if we needed them, and I think we'll be in the same position with Scott Shields and Brian Fuentes.
But for the Angels to win a third straight AL West title, they will need big seasons from Torrey Hunter, Vladdy Guerrero, and free agent acquisition Bobby Abreu.
They always go to the playoffs. They always be around. No one's talk about it, but they're always there.
Hey, if Aaron Hill's dramatic steal of home against the Yankees in 2007 feels like just last season, it's likely because that virtually was last season for the Jays' second baseman. Concussion issues limited him to just 55 games in 2008, and many point to his absence as a reason for the Jays' struggles.
For years, he was looked upon as the future of the Jays' infield, a can't-miss prospect who could do it all. At age 26, Aaron Hill was already 3 years deep into a promising career.
And Hill drives this ball deep to left field. That ball is gone!
2008 was not only supposed to be a breakout season for the Jays, but also for one of their most talented players. Only 55 games in, that all changed.
A player is down, and that's Aaron Hill. He is laid out, which is the last thing the Blue Jays need to see right now.
On what looked to be a rather routine play, Hill suffered a season-ending and what some felt was a career-threatening concussion. One of the Jays' brightest stars entered the darkest days of his short career.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about it. One, I'm tired of talking about it because I don't know how to answer it. I can't stand not doing something. They tell me not to do anything. I don't know how to not to do anything.
It's often said spring is a time for new beginnings. For Aaron Hill, the cliche has never rung so true. 9 months after his concussion, the genesis of number 2 has begun.
That's it right there. It's 8-10 months ago, so it's in the past. Now looking back, it happened. You learned some things, but now I'm here with the guys. We're ready to go. So it's work on the present now and the future.
But despite his change in attitude, it's clear the drama of last year continues to drive him as he moves forward.
Like, I hated that I missed games. I hated it so bad. That's the one thing, was just that I missed being out there. So it's just playing a full season again. That's one of the things that I was proud of, is that I never really missed any time in my short career. So it's it'll be good to get another full season under my belt.
While most would think the weight of the world would be on his shoulders, Hill has instead taken the same fun-loving approach to the sport, which made him a star in the first place.
I haven't been drinking.
Yeah, I bet not. I bet you haven't since that day.
I love scotch. Oh, God. I bet you his change-up be filthy right now. Go on, shake that booty, man.
And while his teammates are happy to see him back, they also understand what Hill's return means for a team coming off one of their worst offensive outputs in years.
He's a huge run producer, and that's the thing that we did miss. He's a big part of our offense, and I don't think a lot of people realize how important he is.
Overall, he's gonna improve the whole team because he's a great defensive guy. He does his thing on hitting also, so it's gonna make us a better team.
It's just a comfort knowing that he's in the lineup, and he's a big part of what we're trying to do offensively, so having him healthy is nothing but a big boost for us.
When you go through situations like that, you learn a lot kind of about yourself and how much you truly love this game. And I think now that he's healthy and ready to go, he's going to have, I think he's going to have a great year, but I think most of all he's going to be happy because he's back on the field.
For the first time in his career, Aaron Hill enters a campaign with more questions than answers. And while the outside world wonders what's in store, one thing is crystal clear. When it comes to what happens between the lines, nothing has changed.
I can't wait to get back diving and stuff. That's just the way I play. That's why I've always played. Just because I was out for a couple months doesn't mean that it's going to change how I've been playing for 25 years. So it's I can't wait to get out there and make the first diving play.
Still to come on the 2009 MLB Preview Show. It's the biggest question mark heading into the season.
And there's some big arms coming up through the systems that not a lot of people know about.
After the break, we'll look at what's in store for the Blue Jays starting rotation. Plus, Ryan Howard of the World Series champions joins us to break down everything from the upcoming season to the ongoing feud between his Phillies and the Mets. You might recall there was loose talk at one point last year that the Jays actually possessed the best rotation in baseball. Those same loose lips are now wondering aloud how far this year's starting core is from the other end of that spectrum. But know one thing, with Roy Halladay in the mix, you'll never be in the discussion for the worst.
If the Jays' rotation isn't the best in baseball, it is certainly right there near the top.
That pitching staff is very good.
I think everybody in baseball knows that this is a dangerous team built around great pitching.
In 2008, the Blue Jays stumbled upon an identity, a team with absolutely no semblance of an offense but a great young pitching staff. However, gone is A.J. Burnett. Dustin McGowan may be shut down for the entire season. And also lost for the year is Sean Markham.
We've got guys that can jump in there and pitch. It's just a matter of us going out there every day and putting things together as a whole. You know, last year we ran into a situation where we weren't on the same page every day. One day we'd pitch, one day we'd hit. And once we get it together and get them both rolling on the same day, we're going to be a tough team to stop.
Still, the 2009 version of the Jays rotation was left with many questions. It started as a staff of Roy Halladay, Jesse Litch, David Percy, and 2 from a list of thousands. Canadian Scott Richmond left camp for the World Baseball Classic, but he returned just in time to grab a spot in the starting 5. Top prospect Ricky Romero battled the odds, as the Jays will roll the dice on the rookie left-hander. As for the pressure of getting this unproven bunch ready, this will fall squarely on the shoulders of catcher Rod Barajas.
Don't rush too much, okay? Take your time. Take your time. Sit back there. Go right through me, okay? What do you want to go with? Want those little slide or something? Get you back on there?
We'll go for about 2 seasons again.
Okay, let's go. Come on.
I think it could be exciting. You know, you got young guys coming up who have great arms, you know, who have the ability to pitch at this level right now. Just a matter of them being able to execute pitches, and you know, if we can get a couple guys who can do that, I don't see why we can't be up there again at the top in pitching.
The only question which never needs answering is their ace, Roy Halladay.
I think that's the way I go about it, is I try and continue doing things the way I would do them and involve those guys and hope they pick up, you know, bits and pieces that can help them.
And this guy is, he's probably been working out since November here, coming here at least 3 days a week, and maybe before then, who knows with Doc. He's just, guy's a Hall of Famer.
Go West, young man, particularly if you want to compete for a playoff spot. Just like the American League, the East represents the NL's power alley with 3 legitimate world champion contenders, including the defending champs, and then 2 others just frantically trying to keep up.
Lidge with an 0-2 pitch. Got him! The Philadelphia Phillies are world champs in 2008.
Now the season's here. You know, that's behind us. You know, we were world champions for 2008, 2009. It's a completely new season. No matter what happened last year, you know, it doesn't matter anymore.
The Phillies ended the city of Philadelphia's 25-year championship drought last season. So why mess with a good thing? The only major change the Phillies made this season was to replace Pat Burrell with Raul Ibanez.
We've got a little bit more cockiness to us, I'd say. We've got a little bit more swagger. In some ways, that can be good. If it's the right kind, you know, like it's a kind that pushes you and makes you more determined and everything. And you know, like, hopefully that's what we have.
I think we learned our lesson last year. We got to be able to stay focused for 162 games.
After 2 straight September collapses, the Mets went out and fixed their biggest problem.
The Mets unable to overcome their bullpen, and this is just a bitter pill to swallow.
The bullpen blew 29 saves last season, but with the addition of K-Rod and J.J. Putz, the Mets now have one of the best bullpens in baseball.
With J.J. and K-Rod, we feel very fortunate to have 2 guys that have closed in the American League.
Starting pitching was synonymous with the Braves during their run of 14 consecutive postseason appearances. And while Tom Glavine is back with the Braves, the heart of the staff, John Smoltz, is not.
You go to battle for 16, 17 years with one guy. It's a little bit of culture shock for everybody. We all miss him, and he should have finished his career here.
To replace Smoltz, the Braves brought in Derek Lowe and Javier Vasquez. If Atlanta is going to contend in the East, those 2 will need to be the Maddox and Smoltz of this era. Here's Ryan Howard of the Philadelphia Phillies. With that World Series title comes the inevitable target on the backs of you and your teammates. Have you talked about that, and you guys prepared for that challenge?
Most definitely. I think that you wouldn't want it any other way. You know, for us, we've had a good spring training so far. Everybody's been focused, ready to go this year, and we're looking forward to it.
NL East should be one of the most interesting, if not exciting, divisions in baseball, but I think the focus is always on you guys and the Mets. How did this rivalry come about between you 2?
You know, as far as the rivalry with New York, I think it's fun. You know, I think it's good for the game. I think it's good for the fans. It's, you know, both teams get together. We're going to try and knock each other out, you know, the best that we can. So I think it all started back in, what, 07 or so, something like that, you know, and when Jimmy came out and said we were the team to beat, and, you know, we just kind of tried to rise to the occasion, and everybody's kind of added their 2 cents in since then. So, I mean, I think it's good for the game. I think it's good for both teams, and it's, you know, it's fun to be a part of.
Ryan, you made a pretty big splash on the YouTube airwaves last year. Before we get your comments, for those who didn't see it, here's another look.
Check it out. Take me out to the ball game. Biggie ball game. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crap. Crap. Take me out to the crap. Hey! Buy me peanuts and them Cracker Jacks. Yes. Give it to me. Buy me peanuts and them Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever come back. I'm gonna go back again. I said it. I don't care if I ever come back. Why is that? Because our team don't win. What?
So that begs the question, are we going to see a return engagement?
You know what? We'll have to see. It's kind of a spur of the moment type of deal, but there'll probably be something coming out there near you pretty soon.
Still to come on the 2009 MLB Preview Show. We take a closer look at whether this may finally be the year the Cubs end their 101-year World Series drought. Plus, it's the incredible story of 2 kids from India looking to cash in on a 1 in a million opportunity.
After a controversial offseason, there may be light at the end of the tunnel for Alex Rodriguez. The Yankee slugger sits 47 home runs away from the 600 mark. Off-season hip surgery makes his quest difficult, but if anyone can do it, it's baseball's most feared hitter.
For those of us weaned on baseball in the 70s, we could never have imagined the mighty Pirates ever even approaching the depths they now call home. We Are Family has given way to We Are Blasphemy as the Bucs sit on the verge of a 17th straight losing season. They have certainly replaced another NL Central club as baseball's lovable losers.
For the first time in a century, back-to-back postseasons for the Cubs.
At Wrigley, we won back-to-back division championships for the first time in 100 years, so we're making steps in the right direction. I think what's gone from the lovable losers to winnings is expected at Wrigley Field, and that's a good thing.
I think last year, I think our kids tried a little bit too hard. The 100th year, everybody expected it. It was almost like it was a given. Things don't happen when you expect them the most, so.
While the Cubs' World Series drought is now over a century old, winning on the north side has become the norm. Chicago led the league in runs and was 3rd in ERA last season and returns nearly the same roster.
Hopefully take it a little further than last year. It's just getting past that first round. It's a tough one. You know, playing with Oakland, it was the same thing. You know, we had trouble with that.
On the ground, a chance here. Durham to Hardy to first. In time! Yes! The Brewers win! The Brewers are going to the playoffs in 2008.
Last season, the Brewers made the playoffs for the first time since 1982. But if they are to repeat that feat, new manager Ken Maka is going to have to rely on a rotation which lost CeCe Sabathia and Ben Sheets. The Brewers did add all-time save leader Trevor Hoffman to their bullpen, but will need Prince Fielder and Ryan Braun to power them to the playoffs.
The 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. That's it. And the St. Louis Cardinals are world champions in 2006.
The Cardinals are only 3 years removed from their World Series title and are welcoming back a healthy Chris Carpenter to pair with MVP Albert Pujols. Meanwhile, the Astros are only 4 years removed from a World Series appearance and will be welcoming back Carlos Lee. However, if either team hopes to return to the Fall Classic, they will need their rosters to stay healthy all season. Meanwhile, you prorate the numbers of Manny Ramirez in Dodger Blue last year, and you might have been looking at the best season in the history of baseball. Now armed with one of its best ever paychecks, Manny will be the story in the NL West as other once solid teams begin to rebuild. The Giants continue to rebuild around Cy Young winner Tim Lincecum. But for years, Barry Bonds was the face of the NL West. And while he is still in the news off the field, a new slugger has grabbed the attention on it.
That
Towering drive in center. Ramirez hits one way out. And that one is whacked. Manny's hit another.
He's a great player, man. He's a big asset to our team. He makes us all better.
I'm in a great place. I'm in a place that I want to play. I'm in a place that I'm going to be happy. My teammates, they love me. The fans love me, the way I play. Hey, sometimes it's better off to have a 2-year deal in a place that you're going to be happy. They have an 8-year deal in a place that you're going to, suffer.
While the Manny saga added intrigue to the offseason, with Ramirez back in the fold, the Dodgers are once again the class of the NL West.
High fly ball, deep right field. He did it! Justin Upton gives the Diamondbacks the lead.
The Arizona Diamondbacks hope they have more in common with the Tampa Bay Rays than just an Upton brother. 1 year removed from a playoff appearance, the D-backs have assembled a young nucleus of stars. If Stephen Drew, Chris Young, Connor Jackson, and Mark Reynolds can match what the young stars of the Rays did last season, the D-backs will be back in the playoff hunt. Still to come on the 2009 MLB Preview Show. It's a story meant for Hollywood. After the break, we profile a pair of trailblazing athletes who have sacrificed it all to fulfill their dreams.
"2009 may be the ideal swan song for one of the most dominant pitchers of his time. Randy Johnson sits just 5 wins away from joining the elite 300-win club. With 211 strikeouts, he would also join Nolan Ryan as the second pitcher to ever record 5,000 Ks.
And finally, Slumdog Millionaire to Dodger Dog Millionaires. 2 young men from India had never even heard of baseball a year ago, but their reality show victories earned them a tryout with big league scouts and a story to tell that might just have Hollywood looking way east again.
India. It's a land populated by over 1.15 billion people, but yet a nation which has developed very few world-class athletes outside of the cricket world. Children in India dreamed of becoming the next Sachin Tendulkar or Rahul Dravid. Strangers in North America, but superstars in the gentleman's game. But perhaps someday these very same cricket kids would follow the footsteps of Rinku Singh and Dinesh Patel. A year ago, Rinku and Dinesh had never heard of baseball, let alone the Pittsburgh Pirates. But there they were this spring training, signed to contracts with dreams of putting on the same uniforms as Honus Wagner, Roberto Clemente, and Willie Stargell. Their journey to America began a year ago with an appearance on $1 Million Arm, an Indian reality show searching for one young man who could throw the hardest and most accurate.
They search fastest arm, and my coach says if you throw hard, have some money they give.
And my coach says one contest, come here, go out there and throw hard, win some money.
They not say how much money, but they say you go, you throw hard, you win some money.
And I go and pick up the ball, I throw 87 miles per hour, first time.
First time when we throw very hard, always pain my shoulder.
Rinku, the lanky left-hander, beat out 37,000 other contestants to win the competition and the $100,000 prize, a stark difference from the $25 a week his family of 10 had been surviving on. With the winnings, he instantly became the richest man in the village.
Everything's changed when I win the money. I buy a new truck for my father, and also my father is truck driver, but now he stay home.
Rinku was invited to America to try out in front of numerous Major League Baseball scouts. And though Patel didn't win the competition, he drew enough interest to also make the trip. They first arrived in the United States in October, and during that visit, had an opportunity to meet perhaps baseball's most controversial figure.
Me and Dinesh met Barry Bonds. We go his house.
His big, huge house, just like hotel.
He have basketball court, swimming pool.
and he have big own movie theater
and magic mirror. You turn the mirror, it turn into a TV.
He kill many bird, and I ask him, how do you kill bird? And he say, bird speed just like change up. So I kill him. He kill many bird, many.
He's very nice guy, very respectful.
He's very nice man. He's big, huge.
I like very much. He's a nice guy.
I said, why people not like you? He says, media not like me. But he is very nice guy.
Singh and Patel's English may be limited, but they have made great strides since first coming to America. Not knowing the language, they learned English by watching movies. The language barrier hasn't been the most difficult part of their endeavor, though. The past year has been an emotionally draining time for two men who left their family, friends, and lives behind and have no idea when they will see their loved ones again.
Yeah, I miss a lot. 10 months, I don't see family.
Once a week I talk with cell phone because my brother has cell phone.
So obviously you miss them a lot.
Yes, I miss.
We miss Indian food.
I miss everything, food, parents, friends, my village, everything I missed.
But your parents won't come here?
No.
To watch you pitch?
No. They not like here.
It's warm?
Yeah, warm, but culture different here.
But it isn't all somber. Rinku and Dinesh have a keen sense of humor when it comes to describing the cultural differences between India and America.
Some man and woman very fat, big fat. I every day eat here, and I saw a woman. He's just like a little elephant. In India, I never thought this type fat. Just here, big fat, huge.
First time I saw Halloween festival here. People going crazy. Somebody naked. I saw one woman naked walking around. Very strange for me, this is.
You don't see that in India?
Yeah, never seen.
No, I not like American woman.
No? Why?
No. American woman very dangerous.
Why?
Because they want money. If you get married, they take all money, leave you alone, and gone.
The extent of their previous athletic experience amounted to throwing the javelin for their local schools in India. But since arriving at Pirate City in Florida in February, the two have not looked out of place. Singh regularly outruns his teammates around the Pirates baseball complex. Their once awkward throwing techniques have matured and evolved rapidly. Patel throws harder, but Singh has better command and control of his pitches. Each morning they train almost exclusively with Pirates Rookie League pitching coach Miguel Bonilla.
They start to learn the system. Obviously, it's like, for me, I understand pretty easy because I come from different country also. It's easy to me get along with them because I know it's hard when you go to different country and try to understand the way the people are and even how you eat. Everything is different. But I see those young guys, they try to get along pretty well with everybody here.
Their tale may be the feel-good story of the year. However, there have been many skeptics along the way, some feeling their opportunity is unfair to American-born ball players who have played the game their entire lives. Others call this a novelty act and publicity stunt by the Pirates. But Kyle Stark, the team's director of player development, sees things differently.
In this situation, it's both what we believe in these two individual players, but also what it could potentially open up for us in that country should baseball start to grow, in India.
How far do you think you can go? Which level?
I think I will do hard practice and make major.
First, I want to be a good pitcher, and I help my team win many games, and Pirates win World Series. That's it.
Anybody that comes into the system, the odds are stacked against them. So I mean, that's kind of the nature of the beast. But we wouldn't have taken the chance if we didn't think there was something to believe in.
Their dreams of making it into Major League Baseball are lofty, and perhaps the odds are stacked against Rinku and Dinesh. However, you can't help but root for a happy ending. which brings us to what the focus of this story is actually about. Whether they make it to the top or not, both have broken barriers as baseball attempts to tap into a new market, and perhaps a new generation of children in India will fall in love with what was once only known as America's favorite pastime.
That'll do it for this program, but most importantly, the baseball season is back, and we will be here right through the final pitch of the World Series. Take care. See you later.
Commentators' clothing provided in part by Z Zenya.